welcome to a new Apostate interviews. Tonight's interview is a friend of mine for, God, how long have I been friends with you, Hasan? That's a pretty good question.
It's probably been about a year, I'd say, or even 2 years.
That probably a little closer to 2 years, because we met on when I started watching people on there. So
yeah, that's probably how we first saw each other. Then I saw you on Twitter, and then I saw your channel. So that's how we got to know more about you.
But yeah, so tell us a little bit about yourself, man.
All right, so I'm currently 22 years old, though, and I am currently enrolled in University of Texas at Dallas, though. I'm currently a computer science major, though, but I may decide to change my major, though, because I kind of see that programming isn't really my thing, though, and I've been getting more into other stuff, especially if you have seen my Twitter, though, obviously.
All right. So normally I ask about your channel, but you really only have like a few old car videos. Do you think you might be adding to your channel anytime in the future, or not likely?
Probably not. I'm not sure though, but I mean, cars was like the thing that was first interested to as like a kid though. But then I kind of expanded over my interests though, and it wasn't the only thing I was into though. And I feel like as far as jobs go though, I don't feel like I have really much of a passion for it, and it's not really going well for it. So, and then religion and politics, I just find it to be more interesting at this point.
All right, that's fair. So, what religion did you grow up being a part of?
I was raised Muslim though. My family is from Pakistan though, and they came here to the United States in the 90s though, and they were Muslims though, but they were not really that conservative though. They've always been pretty liberal and secular.
All right. Do you remember which particular branch of Muslim you grew up being, like Sufi or Shiite?
Yeah, my parents are Sunni. We grew up with the Sunni sect.
All right. Can you tell us a little bit about that? Because I know there's a difference between the different sects, but I'm not totally sure what they are.
Okay, so the Sunni sect, though, I think like the difference between those two, it mainly has to do more with the interpretation of Muhammad ever since he died, though. So ever since he passed away, his advisor Abu Bakr was like who was also his uncle Allah took over, and the Sunnis and Shias had conflict over each other over how they view Muhammad, though. And Muhammad was a very political leader, though. And the thing with the Sunnis, though, they kind of viewed him as both the religious and political leader, like they were the same thing. The Shias kind of viewed them like they were like different, though. Like the Sunnis, like no. The religious and the political were different. Like they're separate.
Okay. All right. So the one thing I think I might remember is that the Sunnis wanted Muhammad's son to take over, and the Shiites didn't. Is that?
It's not necessarily. I mean, they would both pretty much agree with that. They both pretty much had similar of the traditional views. They weren't really that much different, but it was their view on Muhammad though that really caused that conflict though. And the Sunnis and Shias got along with each other before Muhammad's death.
Okay. All right. So, what got you to start questioning your belief in Allah?
I think I was around 14 or 15 when it happened, though. I mean, like, I was at a point where I was becoming a little more religious, though, and I think I was like in my middle school years, though, and that's when I became a little more religious. But then I started questioning the existence of Allah, and I felt like it wasn't like there wasn't really that much great evidence to know whether he exists. I don't feel like there's much of a force to be reckoned with, but it was a very long process for me to take time though. So even when I became disaffected with religion though, I didn't become an atheist recently, but it was a pretty long process.
All right. Like, can you walk us through the transition from Muslim to atheist?
Okay, so so it all started when I was like in high school though. I was learning more about I was not only learning more about atheism, and I just felt like it was at. I also experimented with, say, deism, that kind of stuff. I feel like there could have been a God, but maybe he wasn't interfering, or he wasn't like powerful or supernatural. Then I started watching the new atheist type people, and I learned a little more about it though. And then I started watching some atheist YouTubers, and that's really kind of helped me in my journey though. And it kind of helped me transition a little bit to see how my views on God have changed.
All right. Let's see. God, I hate when this happens. You have a question on the tip of your brain, and then it just falls off the edge.
Oh, that's sorry.
Like, was there a particular straw that broke the camel's back with your religious belief, or just was kind of a gradual thing? Do you remember a tipping point at all?
It was more gradual though. Like even when I was at the point when I became disgusted with religion, I would still kind of say I did still kind of believe in God. I just didn't really feel with the religion though. But then I just kind of feel like I'm not really convinced that there could be like an all-powerful being in the sky or whatever.
All right, that makes perfect sense. Let's see. Yeah, this is the part where I really get into talking about the interviewee's channel, but you don't have one of those. So, I mean, what are some of the most compelling arguments you've heard in favor of the existence of a God, any God? It doesn't matter which one.
Repeat that question.
What's the most compelling argument in favor of any God? It doesn't really matter which one.
That's kind of a difficult one. I think the most one is like maybe if there's like a force or something. Like sometimes you feel like there's something out there though, and that could be why people probably think there may be a God though. But some people but it's possible that it could be something else or whatever, and not just God.
All right. So I'm guessing you don't have any supernatural belief at all. Would that be correct?
No. At this point, I'm sort of anti-theist, sort of, I think.
All right. I've heard a bunch of different definitions from people about anti-theism, ranging from we hate the theists themselves to we just hate the religion and want it to go away. Where would you say you're at on that spectrum?
Yeah, so at first I still kind of feel uncomfortable with it because of how it's mainly been defined, but because of how people have been using the term though. Because even if you call yourself like an atheist or something, it's really become like it's still stigmatized in a way. So anti-theism is more the opposition to theism, and I feel like that fits more me. But I would never shame anyone who's just like that believes in a God or whatever. Even though I just don't agree with, just think their beliefs are delusional. I don't know how to say it.
All right. So on the flip side of that first question, what is the most compelling argument you've heard against any God?
Probably evidence or such though. Like good evidence is probably what is more convincing though, even though it's kind of like repeated so much though, the evidencing.
Like just evidence doesn't exist in favor of it, or is that what you're
like? I just can't be convinced. Like it's just not really convincing though. Like you really need to have some evidence to show that there could be like a God out there.
It's just either not showing itself or it doesn't care to,
Like
or
it's not like you have to see it or something though. It's like somewhere along the lines of you need a little more information on it. I explain it.
And that's why I mute my phone.
Yeah, it's fine.
Wow. So you're definitely more active on Twitter than really anywhere else, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
All right. And by the way, everybody, if you go down to the description box, you can find links to Hasan's Twitter, Instagram, and a YouTube channel that has like 3 car videos on it. So if you have any interest in cars, you got a few videos you can give a watch there.
I don't know if they'll be interested. That's just,
You never know, man. You never know. Well, all right. So I'm kind of curious because over the past 10 minutes that we've been streaming, I'm sorry if this comes across as me being or sounding kind of douchey, but I've noticed that you say though a lot.
yeah, it's not the first time I've been on camera though, so I'm usually kind of anxious and nervous.
Okay, so it's just nerves. I mean, I don't think I'm allowed to give you any of my anti-anxiety meds, but if I could, I would. Yeah, I don't know. Have you been like, stop me if this is like not a cool line of questioning. Have you seen anyone about anxiety or anything like that?
Could you say that again?
Let me know if I'm going too far with these questions, but have you seen a doctor about doing something about anxiety or?
Not much. I thought it was just like normal shyness, like everyone else experiences. Though I didn't think it was that much crazy.
Yeah, well, I mean, the only reason I bring it up is because it's like almost every other sentence. So, um, yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's maybe something to look into. Sorry if that came across as being douchey.
It's fine. Understandable.
Yeah, it's just not a verbal tick that I'm used to. I mean, we've all got our own social tics. Like I will say, you know, a lot in conversation. The first person to point that out actually was Christy Santiago. She's like, "You said you know a lot when,
Okay.
when you're talking." I'm like, "I've literally never noticed that."
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't know. It very well could just be like a verbal tick, and you know, um, but yeah. See this. I'm trying to think here. Like, is there any particular atheist YouTuber you like more than the rest, or? And you don't need to feel obligated to say me just because you're on my channel.
Yeah, I do enjoy your channel though. It's pretty good though, I'd say. But yeah, the first YouTuber I think was that got me into the atheist thing was Jacqueline Glendo. Then I got into Dark Matter 2525 and other YouTubers though, and that's also helped me with the process.
All right. So, which one would you say is your favorite?
At this probably Jacqueline was like probably my most favorite though, the one I probably watched the most though and keep up with the most.
All right. Um, I'm kind of curious. What kind of content would you like to see more atheist YouTubers make?
More atheist YouTubers make?
Yeah. What kind of content would you like us to make more of?
Kind of more like how you've been seeing a lot more of these prominent atheist types, though. They're going more to this whole making apologetics for Christianity and this kind of stuff, though. Like you see these people, though. They tend to be atheists and all that stuff, though. But they'll talk about how America was like founded on Christian values and that kind of stuff. And I kind of want to see more people kind of debunk that kind of stuff, though. And I think those atheist types people, when they do this though, it kind of makes like they're making apologetic for a certain for a religion though, even though it kind of feels contradictory, even though it really isn't.
Okay, so you want to see more debunkings of the assertion that America's a Christian nation.
Yeah, pretty much.
All right, I've actually done a couple of those.
Yeah, I know that. I've seen that.
But yeah, I mean, it would be nice to see more of that, but I don't know. The people that it would be targeted at aren't likely to listen, unfortunately.
Yeah.
You know, like even as recently as, God, what was it? I think it was around the 2012 election. I was still thinking that America was a Christian nation despite being an atheist.
Around that time, I was still like apolitical though, and didn't really get into the religion stuff that much at the time.
Yeah, no, it was really weird because I'm an atheist, but I'm also still listening to Glenn Beck to my great shame and
Damn.
taking him seriously.
How dare you?
Dude, I listen to all of them. Glenn Beck, Bill O'Reilly, Sean Hannity. I listen to all those people, and now I'm just like, oh God, what have I done?
At least Bill has a sense of humor. I'll give him that. He's kind of at least he's humorful.
Yeah, I remember him making jokes, but they were somehow like lower than dad joke level.
Yeah. Tie goes in, tie goes out. You can't explain it.
Yeah, and damn, what's the name of the dude who was president of American Atheist at the time that was interviewing him?
David Silverman.
Yeah. He just looks at Bill. He's like, "You can't explain that."
Yeah.
It's like science figured that out years ago, man.
Yeah, I kind of missed that, David. Though, kind of missed that.
Oh, let's see. Powered Soldier. Hasan is right about which things. He's the video in the chat aren't synced, so I'm not sure which thing you're talking about.
Yeah.
But I've yet to hear anything Hasan's been wrong about. So yet another way it can apply to so many things he said.
I'm surprised it's going well though for the audience.
Well, I mean, it's only like a 10-second delay, but still, that 10 seconds can, a lot can happen in 10 seconds.
Yeah, that's true.
Kind of like a football game. You can miss a lot. But speaking of football, what are your thoughts around the halftime show controversy at this year's Super Bowl?
I thought I enjoyed the show. It was probably the best part, even though I don't really care much for sports that much, but I'd say that was like the best part of the show. Did you see the Jeb Bush tweet though? It was very hilarious. Like he enjoyed it.
I didn't see that. What did he say?
Like he was like, it was the best halftime show I ever seen though. Don't remember the exact tweet, but it was funny.
Oh man. That's fantastic. I think my favorite part about the whole thing is like all the right-wing reactionary reactions on Twitter.
Yeah.
I mean, all these people that voted for Trump that were totally cool with him saying grab her by the pussy and, just saying pretty much shit that equaled out to sexual assault, Yeah, they're okay with Trump saying and doing all those things. It's not a problem for them. But as soon as Shakira and Beyonce get on the stage and shake their asses, the world is ending.
Now they want Shakira law. Now they want that.
Oh God, that's good. Yeah, I don't know, man. These are the people that will try just as hard as they possibly can to find some issue with anything at all. But let's see. Beach Price. I don't watch sports, so what happened in the halftime show? Shakira and Beyonce got on stage and shook their butts.
It was J-Lo, actually. Shakira and J-Lo.
Why am I thinking Beyonce?
I see where you got me thinking.
Has Beyonce been in the news for other things lately, and I'm just mixing up news stories?
No, she hasn't been like in the news story in a while.
Why am I thinking Beyonce then? Are you sure it was J-Lo? That doesn't sound.
It was. Oh, it was definitely J-Lo. It was definitely her.
I don't know. But yeah, so Shakira and J-Lo got on stage and shook their butts, and well, I mean, uproar over pretty much nothing. But I mean, what do we expect? These are some of the biggest hypocrites out there. See, it's funny. Normally, we can go on for like half an hour just about a channel on these things, but I've noticed it's a lot more work. I keep forgetting it's a lot more work for people that don't have channels. So we're here talking about political and social commentary. Baby Nut one. I don't think I understand. But so what are your thoughts on the Senate impeachment going on?
Well, at this point, I don't really care too much, though. I mean, of course, I support the impeachment, but I don't really think it's going to get passed in the Senate, though. Although even if some of the things are very convincing, though, because no matter what happens, they're going to vote no matter what, the Senate.
Yeah. I mean, I'm kind of curious because as I remember it, I want to say it was Mitch McConnell came out, and before Nancy Pelosi even sent the article of impeachment to the Senate, he said that the Senate would vote to quit no matter what. And, they voted to block witnesses and evidence. What are your thoughts with that, about that massive dereliction of duty going on there?
It's not very good. That's for sure.
Do you think it's going to cost the Republicans anything in the election, or are they just going to stay the course?
Yeah, it'll stay the course. So no matter what, though, just based on that, because we know that's not going to
go. Let's see. Kyle is pissing me off with his takes. I'm guessing you mean Kyle Kalinske.
Yeah, I think that's what he means, though. He's on Twitter a lot. I see him.
Yeah, I don't see too much of what Kyle has to say. I get too much shit in my Twitter feed anyway, as it is. So
yeah, most of the people are really pissed off about his impeachment takes, which, to be fair, it's pretty warranted. I'd say the reaction.
Yeah, I don't really know what his takes are, so I'm not able to give anything resembling an educated comment.
Like just last week, he was like defending Tucker Carlson's comments on the impeachment thing, like last week.
Well, that's not a good look.
Yeah.
But I also don't know what Tucker Carlson's take was. So.
Well, he did say he would side with Russia over Ukraine.
Well then. We have interesting media heads in our country, don't we?
Yeah, we do. Of course.
Oh. So, like other than Super Bowl halftime shows and phony impeachment trials in the Senate, what else has been on your mind, man?
I'm still on the Iowa thing, pretty much. Though, like, have you seen the recent results? Though, I mean, it hasn't been fully released, but it was like partial.
Any results have been released?
Like, turns out Bernie was like winning the popular vote, though, but Buttigieg was still having like more delegates.
Let me see here. Okay, there are results. That's interesting. Okay.
Yeah, but I think it's partial, though, as far as I know. Though they haven't been fully released.
All right. Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. 62% reporting. Buttigieg and Sanders are tied at 10 delegates. Buttigieg has 26.9% of the vote. Bernie has 25.1.
Yeah, right. That.
I'm surprised Biden is polling that high.
Wasn't he polling lower though?
Yeah, he like the first results I saw last night had him polling at like 2%.
Yeah. I mean, they just keep thinking it's the app though. They really don't want to release that poll. They just don't.
Yeah, because it looks embarrassing for the what do you call them? Establishment candidates. It's embarrassing for Biden. It's embarrassing for what's his nuts, the billionaire that just bought his way into
Bloomberg, Michael Bloomberg.
Yeah. Let's see here. BHS, anyone want to rant about fundies claiming disasters worldwide are punishment for sins? Even Muslims are saying it.
It's not surprising there's some out there like that.
Yeah, I mean, it's these fundy religions, when you break them down, are pretty similar when you actually look at it. You know, it's everything's because of sin or because of the gays putting their dicks in each other's butts or some whatever it is. God damn, I can't think of anybody's name tonight. The right-wing nut job that's always in front of a football stadium.
I
You know what I'm talking about. Dave something. Dobbenmeyer. That's right.
what was his name?
Dave Dobbenmeyer, the dude that's always obsessed with penises and butts.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Now I know.
It's for Dobbenmeyer, I honestly think it's kind of reaching the point of a fetish. Yeah, he talks about it so much, you know. I know gay dudes that don't think about it that much. But yeah, it's I don't know. Let's see. He's afraid of pissing off Trump voters, which won't vote down either way in any election. I'm assuming you're talking about one of the candidates.
Afraid of this, which won't vote Dems either way in either elections. I think, is he talking about Bloomberg? I don't remember though.
I honestly don't know. Anderson said fires were because Australia wouldn't let him preach there. Wow. I mean, for someone who's supposed to be humble and all that shit, he's pretty self-obsessed there.
Yeah.
So realistically, he's saying that it's his fault.
Yeah.
If he weren't such a bag of dicks, Australia probably would have let him in.
Yeah. Powered soldier says Kyle, so yeah, that's what he means.
Okay, Kyle.
Pissing out Trump voters, yeah.
Yeah, I haven't seen much of what Kyle's had to say lately, and according to what Powered Soldier there is saying, I'm not missing much.
Yeah, well, yeah, I think Kyle's just like trying to please everyone in his audience, though. That's why he's also likes Tulsi Gabbard and Andrew Yang a lot compared to, say, other progressive channels.
Yeah, I liked Tulsi Gabbard at first, you know, and then she backed away from Medicare for All, and I'm like, okay, you lost pretty much all of my interest with just that.
Yeah, that really pissed me off about him. Or that's that.
Yeah, but I mean, her going on shows like Tucker Carlson and giving him legitimacy at all was kind of worrying for me. Then she backed off from Medicare for All, and I'm like, okay.
Then that Dave Rubin interview was a shit show. I remember that.
I haven't seen that, but I wouldn't be surprised by it.
It's like he was just agreeing with his questions still, though. Like compared out to the Marianne Williamson interview, that was like a different story.
man, I really need to catch up on watching things. Well, I mean, I work third shift, so I'm asleep for most of the day. Like I literally woke up an hour and a half ago.
Wow.
All of this that you see right here is actually only about 15 minutes of work because I just kind of lounged in bed for like half an hour or so.
Yeah, I'm not an early bird though, but when I wake up late, I just feel like, man, I just feel like, what am I doing with my life? Even though I just hate waking up early.
Oh yeah, I've never been a morning person. Let's see. Powered Soldier wants to know: do you think you can do a better app than Shadow?
Probably so.
They should hire you.
Yeah. Yeah. There's no way the Shadow app can have a problem. No way.
Well, I mean, with a name like Shadow, that just suggests nothing but transparency and open and honest polling or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. So real quick, is there anything from Islam that still kind of has a grip on you, like the fear of hell or something like that?
I usually don't have those feelings about that anymore, though. I mean, there was that point where I kind of felt that I would still feel guilty of doing something because, like, I just feel like is Allah watching me no matter what, even when I was like fed up with religion, though. But I was able to get over that fear.
All right. Like you're actually over it. You don't have any lingering things from Islam at all.
No, not really. And my parents are like pretty liberal and secular, though, so I didn't like grow up from like a fundamentalist family.
All right. Okay, so I'm actually curious about something. I was over at a friend's house recently, and they had other people over too. And one guy said that wherever Muslims go, they take over. What is your thought on that?
Well, as usual, you can always separate the Muslim from the religion from the individual, of course. So I don't think all Muslims are obviously like that. Of course, like they're not like those.
Yeah, I mean, he was going off on some pretty fucked up and bigoted diatribes.
Yeah.
This dude is not someone I would usually listen to, but
Yeah. I just think they give the ex-Muslim cause a bad name, honestly.
what gives the ex-Muslim cause a bad name?
But like what he said, of course, like it just seems like the movement has pretty much taken over to become like this token thing for conservatives that hate Muslims. So it does seem like the ex-Muslim movement is going towards that route.
All right. What do you think ex-Muslims can do to, I don't know, get better PR?
I think they could educate other people that you can always separate the religion from like the individual, kind of the same way how Christianity was able to do that. And Islam has been like the only religion that has never been really reformed as say Christianity has. And I think I think people should do a lot of focus on that, regardless if it's possible or not.
So to improve relation or the appearance of ex-Muslims, Islam should reform. I don't know if I'm understanding it.
Like, I don't know if it's possible though, but I mean, like, if you want to convince like other people, like the Muslim community, like the ex-Muslim community about the religion, though, I think I think it should be done in a way like how people were able to how people were able to help Christians educate about Christianity though. So it's like, don't make it about the Muslim or whoever. Just make it more about the religion and see how you can evolve and reform. Like if it's possible.
Do you think it is possible for Islam to reform at this point in time, or no?
At this point, not really. Even if it does, it'll probably have to take like another 600 years to do so, though. I mean, like, it took pretty long for Christianity to do so.
It did, yeah. But I mean, you really think it'll be that long for Islam to reform? I mean, we've got the internet now. It's literally the fastest communication has ever been. Do you think it'll be that long?
Well, that's possible. It could be even quicker than usual, but even at the end of the day, though, even if you like change one form of one thing from the Quran, it automatically changes its core because Allah said that the Quran is like the literal text of the literal text.
All right. Powered Soldier is saying nope. I'm assuming that's to Islam reforming.
Well, yeah, I don't think it will happen at this point, though. Most likely for a long time.
So probably not in our lifetimes then.
Maybe, yeah, probably not.
Oh, all right. Yeah. Like I said earlier, I usually spend a lot of time in these interviews talking about the channel you run. So that's half of the interview that just doesn't exist right there. Do you think after doing this interview, you might have any interest in starting a channel, or are you happy just watching other people?
I have thoughts about it though, but I'm not really sure at this point though.
All right. What do you think might be stopping you?
Not stopping though, because I haven't really had any other ideas, and I feel like everyone's been talking about the same thing though. So I feel like if I put videos out there, it just feels like I'm just like saying the same thing everyone is saying though.
All right. Well, I mean, you don't have to talk about atheism, and
Well, yeah.
you know, I mean, is there like anything out there that interests you that you could?
Other things.
Yeah, like
Well,
anything.
Well, I mean, of course, like about like I was very into cars, so I'm still kind of am at this point though. I'm just not as like not as overly as much I was before.
All right. Let's see. Beach asks. It says at the beginning that that is the direct word of Allah, right?
Yeah, the Quran, right?
I'm assuming.
Yeah, pretty much though. There's you just can't. There's no really room for interpretation on that.
All right. Actually, just thought of one. I'm not so good at knowing the difference between the Quran and the Hadith. Is there really a difference, or
The difference?
yeah,
Not really. No, not really.
no?
No.
All right. All right. Well, uh, unfortunately, that's all the questions I really had. Is there anything you want to mention or talk about?
Well, I enjoyed this interview. I thought it went pretty well. It's
Oh
going
yeah, I
well.
did. I think so too.
Yeah.
Just shorter than usual. But Beach said yes, the Quran. So yeah.
Yeah, that's.
All right. Yeah, I mean, I tried to read the Quran, but I couldn't do it.
Like not even the English one you can even read.
Well, okay, so I tried reading it, but it like as much as the Bible is, filleting God's ego, the Quran just goes so much further in that direction.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, it like, oh, Allah, most mighty, most loving. It's like, Jesus Christ, just stick Allah's dick in your mouth and shut up already. Fuck.
Yeah, yeah, it's just it's so narcissistic.
It's oh my god, it was awful. I tried. I honestly did. You know, I went to the library, got out a copy, and tried to read it, but no.
I've been reading it in Arabic my whole life twice though, and never understood what it was in it at the time.
Oh, be just saying the worst one is the Book of Mormon.
Honestly,
Yeah, I've never tried.
yeah, it would be terrible. I can tell.
Well, I mean, it's a book literally written by a huckster who is sent to prison for fraud. So
Yeah. Even many Christians don't like the Mormons. Even they don't.
yeah. Well, ooh, this is an interesting take. Quran is basically Star Wars episodes 7 through 9, while Bible is Star Wars episodes 4 through 6.
Yeah, 4 through 6 were like the first 3 movies though, before like the prequels came out, right?
Yeah. So that would, I guess, make the prequels the Tanakh.
And then 7 and 9 are the recent ones, of course.
I wonder what that makes Star Wars stories like Rogue One and Solo.
Yeah.
I wonder what religions those would correlate to. I don't know. Maybe one could be Scientology and the other. Yeah, Rogue One, I think, would be Scientology, and Solo can be Mormonism. Why not? This took an interesting turn. Thank you for that, Howard Soldier. Oh, God. But yeah, I appreciate you coming on, man. I like to start and end my interviews all the same way. So could you tell us a little bit about yourself again?
Okay, so I'm HasanJF though, and I'm usually very active on Twitter though, so I don't really have any YouTube videos posted at the moment though, but it could happen in the future though. So, but if you want to see the rest of my political and religious takes, just follow me on Twitter at HasanJF.
Yeah, you're pretty busy on Twitter.
Yeah, when I'm not working, yes, or at school.
I don't know. I think I see usually about 10 to 15 tweets a day from you.
Yeah, that's nice. But the funny thing is, when I see other people tweet, it's like they even do it more than me. So I'm kind of surprised though that I feel like I'm less than them.
Let's see. Oh, KCA Randy is saying that Rogue One is secular.
Sick. Yeah, I don't really remember the Rogue One story one.
Oh. All right. Well, thanks again for coming on, man. I had a lot of fun talking to you.
Hey, thank you. It was a fun time.
Like half of it was figuring out which Star Wars episodes would be what religion.
Yeah, that totally ended it pretty well.
It did, actually. It works.
Yeah.
But yeah, everybody in the chat, definitely scroll down a little tiny bit to the description box. Follow Hasan on Twitter, Instagram, and maybe if he gets enough followers on YouTube, he'll start doing stuff there. Who knows?
I'm almost at 1,000 followers soon, so it's like more than 100 followers next.
Damn.
So,
Beat me.
I'm surprised I'm just like got so big.
All right. So yeah, everyone follow Hasan over on Twitter, and definitely be sure to subscribe to me. Let's get me a little closer to his subscriber count. All right. Take it easy, everybody, and I'll see you in the next one.
Thank you very much. Well, good to see you.